This position in 2021, Grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky is playing Super Grandmaster Wesley So. And in this game, Daniel plays one of the most violent checkmating attacks I've ever seen. Let's see what happens here. So in the game, Wesley just grabbed the pawn on b2 and is trying to win the bishop on b5. But Daniel has a very nice kingside attack. He has two rooks, a queen, and a pawn all aiming toward that black king. So instead of retreating the bishop, Daniel finds the only winning move. Pawn to h6, checking the king and trying to see if the king wants to go further up into the position. And if you take that pawn, Daniel was going to play rook takes f6. And after rook takes f6, queen to h4 would be a fort. Once the king steps back, we take the rook and the king would drop back. And now Daniel had in mind bishop to e8, sacrificing the bishop to disconnect the rook from guarding the f8 square. And if you take the bishop, then queen to f7 would fork and win immediately. So instead of taking that pawn, the king goes to h8. But now this pawn on h6 is very strong, guarding the g7 square and entombing the king on the back rank. But now our bishop is hanging, our rook is hanging. How do we continue the attack? Well, Daniel finds the only winning move again, queen to g5, sacrificing the queen but also attacking this f6 pawn. And if you take the queen, rook to f8 is going to be checkmate in two. If you take the rook, queen to g7 is checkmate immediately. So Wesley just grabs the bishop. But now rook takes f6. And we're threatening checkmate in two again, so the rook has to stay on the back rank. But now Daniel finishes it off. Rook takes g6. A clearance sacrifice that opens up the f6 square for the queen to deliver checkmate. And since this cannot be avoided, Wesley had enough, resigns the game.